Today we going to Philly, and you already know what type of time they on. They crash out just as much as Chicago. Philly may have a top crash house right now. So there's a rapper from Philly named Cap G's. Him and his set been at a war. It's been the CCK and the Cinders. Them bulls are wildin'. Those bulls are dragging in Philly. So we about to figure out what they own and why Lil Bro right here got his loadout attached. Oh, the school kid. But hey, we're gonna watch this video together. We're gonna watch to the end. Let's get straight into it.
One, join the Cinders, get a body, then you gang with us.
I don't like pausing this early in the video, but did he just say, if you wanna join the Cinders, catch a body, then you gang with us? Why would you say that? I'm gonna be fresh as hell if the feds watching, ain't it?
Don't turn on the switch, he try to hop out, hit her face. Jay was lacking on that corner.
The Cinders used a motto or a slogan in many of their music videos, raps, and other social media posts. That slogan was, if you want to join the Cinders, get a body, then you gang with us.
Big bust involving what police are calling 3 major South Philadelphia shooting gangs. 12 people now charged for their roles in more than a dozen crimes, including a homicide. The district attorney says the group is affiliated with a street gang.
Philadelphia law enforcement has announced the dismantling of a violent network of street gangs responsible for a wave of shootings, murders, and armed robberies that terrorized the city for over 2 years. On February 21st, 2025, officials revealed that a grand jury indictment has charged 12 individuals with multiple homicides, attempted murders, carjackings, and serious firearm offenses, all tied to the escalating war between the Cinders, Clappers, and Close Range Gang. These groups, operating primarily in South Philadelphia, but with connections stretching into West Philadelphia, have been locked in a deadly cycle of retaliation from April 2021 to May 2023. The Clappers, based around 7th and Rittner in South Philadelphia, have gained attention for their affiliation with CCK, a larger organization active in West Philly, South Philly, and Southwest Philadelphia. The Cinders, known for their ruthless reputation, have 2 factions, one controlling territory around 5th and Christian in South Philadelphia, and another established near 56th and Lansdowne in West Philadelphia. They are widely recognized for their slogan, if you want to join the Cinders, get a body, then you gang with us, a phrase that law enforcement says reflects their violent initiation process. The Close Range Gang, though smaller, has played a major role in several shootings alongside the Cinders. 12 suspects have been indicted in connection to multiple shootings and murders, with charges ranging from attempted homicide to illegal firearms possession. Among them is 19-year-old Eli A3 Simmons, who prosecutors say is responsible for multiple shootings across the city. Also named in the indictment are 20-year-old Isaiah Brown or Cap G's, 16-year-old Javon Solomon, and 19-year-old Andre Richards, all accused of carrying out violent attacks on rivals and their associates. 20-year-old Tahir Wick Rowe and 19-year-old Claudia Carter Lewis, both affiliated with the Clappers, have also been charged as part of the ongoing feud.
Bro, this is insane because can't none of these young dudes even take a drink. They can't even drink legally, but they catching hats. I'm talking real fitteds. Bro, like, look, they all the same person. They all just demons. Look at this. Black Nike Tech. Some of them can't even afford the black Nike Tech upgrade, so they just got on a black hoodie and a ski mask. You know they Philly Bulls, so Buddy got to have some New Balances. If he got New Balances on his feet, he's running up on you. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Don't go to Philly. They crazy as hell.
In addition to violent crime charges, several suspects are facing serious firearm offenses under Pennsylvania's Uniform Firearms Act, commonly referred to as VUFA. These charges include VUFA 6106 for illegally possessing a firearm without a license, VUFA 6108 for unlawfully carrying a firearm in public within city limits, and VUFA 6110 for possession of a firearm by a minor. Prosecutors say many of the suspects used stolen vehicles, coordinated ambush-style shootings, and social media threats to escalate the violence. This indictment marks one of the largest gang crackdowns in recent Philadelphia history, but authorities warn that the investigation is still active. More arrests are expected as law enforcement continues tracking down additional suspects and linking unsolved shootings to this conflict. In this video, we'll break down the key players, the timeline of violence, and how law enforcement built its case against these individuals. On April 15th, 2021, at 9:48 p.m., gunfire erupted on the 2000 block of South 7th Street, leaving 2 young men, ages 19 and 22, wounded. Both victims were shot multiple times but survived their injuries. Witnesses reported that a lone shooter approached on foot, opened fire, and fled the scene. Police recovered several shell casings from the area, and through further investigation, they linked the shooting to 21-year-old Carl Jarrett. He was later indicted for multiple counts of attempted murder and conspiracy. He was also charged with violating VUFA 6106, which prohibits carrying a firearm without a valid license, VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in public in Philadelphia, and VUFA 6110 for illegal possession of a firearm as a minor. Authorities identified him as a member of the Senders, and this shooting is believed to have been one of the early sparks in the conflict between the Senders and the Clappers. On January 22, 2022, at 7:12 p.m., police responded to multiple 911 calls reporting gunfire on the 800 block of June Street. When officers arrived, they found 16-year-old Mecky Ingram, or Lil Ka, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, barely clinging to life. Witnesses described the attack as a calculated execution, with 2 masked gunmen ambushing him, firing off multiple rounds before fleeing the scene. Lil Ka was rushed to the hospital, where doctors fought to stabilize him. For days, he remained in critical condition. Investigators later identified 20-year-old Tahir Wick Rowe and 19-year-old Claudia Carter Lewis, both affiliated with the Clappers, as the shooters. Authorities believe this was a targeted hit.
Something be wrong with these dudes, because it's like, bro, he look young as hell. Like, you're too thirsty to get life in jail, bro. You run around here shooting stuff up every single day, every single week. Like, you got to know at some point they about to give you some football numbers. Like, why you so thirsty to go to jail forever, gang? What's to you? What's wrong with you? Ain't dream chasers from Philly? Why they ain't dream chasing? This is Switchy's calling. I can hear the Switchy's calling.
Out as retaliation for a previous attack linked to the ongoing war between the Clappers and Senders. Both suspects were later indicted for murder and conspiracy, along with VUFA 6106, illegal possession of a firearm, and VUFA 6108, carrying a firearm in public in Philadelphia. While Lil Ka was in the hospital, fighting for his life, the Senders wasted no time moving on retaliation. On January 28, 2022, 2 separate shootings rocked South Philly within a short span. The first occurred at 11:26 p.m. on the 1400 block of South 6th Street, where a 26-year-old man was shot twice in the leg while standing near a parked car. Less than 30 minutes later, another shooting broke out on the 700 block of Rittner Street, where 2 men, ages 25 and 27, were shot multiple times in their lower bodies.
Draco,
Surveillance footage captured.
Hold on, bro. Draco, come here. Look at my dog right now. Draco, come here. Move. Draco, move. My dog all in my way. Yes, my dog's name is Draco. Stop playing with me. Bro, I'm not playing, bro. They playing.
The dark-colored sedan speeding away from both scenes. Investigators later tied these retaliation hits to 19-year-old Eli A3 Simmons, a known member of the Senders. He was indicted for multiple counts of attempted murder and conspiracy, along with VUFA 6106 for illegal possession of a firearm and VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in public. Authorities believe these
So he's matching his spider with a Miri. So do that mean that all the YNs want to be like him now? Since he got spider and a Miri, that means that it's acceptable for him to catch bodies because he got drip on. Because that means he wears designer and catches hats, which puts him up here, right? That makes him way tougher. Because that's fast tracking his route to jail. So if you put it into, you weigh it up on the scale, that means that he's cool, right? Or does that mean that he's going to jail forever? I don't know. What you think?
Were just the beginning, a declaration of war in response to Lil Kai's death. But the damage had already been done. On January 29, 2022, 1 week after the shooting, Lil Kai succumbed to his injuries. The violence escalated further. On January 30th, 2022, Philadelphia saw a string of shootings across different locations, all linked to the Senders. The first took place on the 200 block of Robin Street, where a 24-year-old man was shot twice in the leg. Shortly after, another shooting occurred at 8th Street and Snyder Avenue, where a 20-year-old man suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Later that night, on the 700 block of Rittner Street, 3 men, ages 26, 27, and 30, were shot in the legs while standing outside a residence. Earlier that evening, a Honda Accord was carjacked at gunpoint on the 2400 block of South 3rd Street, and the stolen vehicle was later used in one of the shootings. 19-year-old Eli Simmons, known as A3, and 21-year-old Ivan Williams were indicted for multiple counts of attempted murder, conspiracy, and carjacking. Simmons was also charged with VUFA 6106 for unlawful firearm possession, VUFA 6108 for carrying a gun in a public place, and VUFA 6110 for being a minor in possession of a firearm. On February 6, 2022, at 5:19 p.m., a 24-year-old man was shot twice in the stomach outside a corner store on the 1600 block of West Ontario Street. Surveillance footage captured two gunmen exiting a silver sedan, opening fire, and then fleeing. Investigators identified 19-year-old Eli Simmons, known as A3, and 21-year-old Carl Jarrett as the shooters. Both were indicted on charges of attempted murder and conspiracy, as well as VUFA 6106 for possessing a firearm without a license and VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in public. On November 8th, a shooting took place on the 3100 block of West Norris Street. 2 people were injured during the shooting. Then, on February 2nd, 2023 at 4:37 p.m., a mass shooting took place on the 4800 block of Pascal Avenue.
With this, 7 people, 6 of them children, are shot after a gunman opens fire near a school in Strawberry Mansion.
So they blicked up a school and hit 6 kids. Like, this ain't tough. Like, this is a good title to this video, because send all their ass to jail, bro. They not even using, they don't even got no brains. They fried off them of whatever they taking, and they just doing stuff. The Walking Dead.
The children is only 2 years old. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Cartalia. All 7 victims are being treated at the hospital right now. That shooting happened around 6 o'clock tonight at the intersection of 31st and Norris Streets, right near the James G. Blaine School. Siafa Lewis is live outside of police headquarters with the breaking details. Siafa?
Jess and Yuki, quite simply, the violence continues, as you've noted. 7 more Philadelphians are gunshot victims tonight. 5 of them are teens. 1 is just 2 years old.
This shooting took place early Thursday evening in the city's Strawberry Mansion section at the intersection of 31st and West Norris.
So again, we have one 31-year-old that we know of, and then the remaining victims are all juveniles, and those ages range from 2 to 17.
3 gunmen waited inside a stolen silver Hyundai near 31st and Norris Streets, targeting a group of teenagers. As the teens walked past a playground, the shooters jumped out and unleashed at least 30 bullets in just 13 seconds before speeding off. Shayna Moore was walking her 8-year-old son home from school, pushing her 2-year-old daughter Suhara in a stroller when gunfire erupted behind them. A bullet tore through her leg as she struggled to stay on her feet. Moore screamed for her son to run as she tried to push forward, blood rushing down her leg. She didn't realize Suhara had also been shot. The same bullet that hit her leg had lodged in her daughter's thigh. 5 teenagers were also shot in the attack. A 13-year-old boy was shot in the hand. A 16-year-old boy was hit in the arm and leg. Another 16-year-old was shot in the arm. A 17-year-old was grazed in the thigh. And a 15-year-old boy was shot twice in the chest. The shooters fled in the stolen car. Police made no arrests at the time, and the motive was unknown. Moore was rushed to the hospital. She spent days recovering and now undergoes physical therapy. Suhara still has a bullet lodged in her leg, and loud noises startle her. She thought she would feel safe in her own neighborhood. Now, she just wants to get out. "I'm just ready to move," she said. Investigators later tied the shootings to gang violence and charged 17-year-old Alante Outerbridge, a close-range gang member, with 9 counts of attempted murder, conspiracy, and he was also charged with 2 counts each of VUFA 6106, firearm possession without a license, and VUFA 6108, carrying in public. On April 5th, 2023, at 10:02 p.m., gunfire erupted on the 700 block of Jackson Street, leaving 2 men wounded. Witnesses reported that 2 masked shooters approached from behind and opened fire before fleeing on foot. Both victims were struck multiple times and were rushed to the hospital in critical but stable condition. Investigators later identified the shooters as 16-year-old Javon Solomon and 20-year-old Isaiah Brown, known as Cap G's, both affiliated with the senders. Solomon was indicted for attempted murder, conspiracy, and multiple firearms charges, including VUFA 6106 for possession of a firearm without a license and VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in public. Brown, known as Cap G's, was indicted for conspiracy and VUFA 6106 for illegal firearm possession. Authorities linked this shooting to the ongoing retaliation between the senders and their rivals. On April 6, 2023, a shooting took place near 22nd and Wolf Streets. leaving 3 men injured. Authorities later indicted 19-year-old Atom L, a member of the Senders, for attempted murder and aggravated assault. He was also charged with VUFA 6106 for illegal firearm possession and VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in a prohibited area. On April 20th, 2023, a 19-year-old man was shot twice in the chest outside a shopping plaza on the 4600 block of Wayne Avenue. 19-year-old Eli Simmons, known as A3, was later indicted for attempted murder and weapons offenses. He was also charged with VUFA 6106 for possessing a firearm without a license and VUFA 6108 for carrying a firearm in public. On April 27, 2023, a 22-year-old man was shot in the arm and leg at the intersection of and Rittner Streets in what authorities described as a direct retaliation hit. 19-year-old Eli Simmons, known as A3, was indicted for attempted murder and conspiracy. He was also charged with VUFA 6106 and VUFA 6108 for unlawful firearm possession. On May 1st, 2023, a triple shooting occurred on the 600 block of Oregon Avenue, leaving 3 men critically wounded. 19-year-old Andre Richards, a member of the Senders, was later indicted for attempted murder and conspiracy. He was...
So what I'm learning from this video is do unto others as you want done unto you, and apparently everybody want to die. Hell is wrong with these little boys, man. It's your boy MasoMoney. Just watch another video. I'll see you in the next one. Just watch another video. You see the one right there? Just go ahead and watch it.